The Office of the Ombudsman for Short-term Insurance has released its annual report. It says nearly 10,000 complaints were resolved in an average turnaround time of 131 days. More than 87 million rand was recovered for consumers. And joining us to unpack that is the Ombudsman for Short-term Insurance. That's Deanne Wood. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me, Siki.
Overall, how would you rate the past year in terms of industry and, of course, your response to complaints?
It's been a good year for our office. Our office has closed more complaints this year than it did in 2016, which of course is very good for consumers. Overall a good year for OSTI.
You saw a decline in the number of cases that were overturned, but you're saying that that does not necessarily mean that the industry has been acting in an excellent manner. Just explain what that means.
Well, the message that I'm trying to portray is that the industry drive to have the lowest figures in our office doesn't necessarily mean that the industry is doing a good job. It doesn't mean that they're not, but it shouldn't be taken automatically to mean that they're doing well. It may mean that they're not willing to come to the party, to change their stance once they've made a decision, or that they doggedly hold on to a decision once they've made it and are not willing to negotiate or mediate with our office.
Is there anything you can do about that?
Well, we have changed the way next year we're going to be reporting the insurer statistics in a different way. And so we won't be reflecting their stats in the same way that we have in the past. And we're also firmly driving mediation and conciliation so that we can talk to the parties more meaningfully and try to resolve disputes.
And let's talk a little bit about that, because that goes to the concept of fairness, which is something that your report tries to emphasize quite a lot. Why is that important?
Well, Siki, I think our role, we are not a court. We are not there to adjudicate matters and determine right or wrong. We're there to support the industry. The office is there to provide a service both to insurers and to complainants, and to make sure that more people are insured, not less. And fairness is a fundamental basis for resolving disputes, not simply determining who was right and wrong in the outcome of a matter.
Does it take longer to arrive at a more fair result?
Well, no, not necessarily. If the parties are willing to talk to one another and to come to a resolution, even if it means not walking away with all of the spoils, then the matter can in fact be resolved faster than if it has to go through the normal adjudication process.
Let's talk about complaints themselves. What are people complaining about?
Mostly about motor vehicle collisions. Those constitute the highest number of complaints. And in relation to that, it's still drunk driving that has the highest number of complaints in our office.
Goodness. And that's something obviously you want to highlight and ensure that both parties understand.
Lots of rejections on the grounds of drunk driving. I think that the key takeout there is that most consumers believe that in order for the insurer to reject the claim, there must have been a blood test or a breathalyzer done. But that's not in fact the case. If there's enough evidence and the insurer is able to demonstrate that on a balance of probabilities the driver was over the legal limit, well then they have good grounds to reject the claim.
What about household insurance?
Household insurance, it's still theft and burglary constitutes the highest number for the household insurance.
And also there, are there lots of complaints coming through from consumers?
Yes, that's our second highest. And lots of claims there, and homeowners. Also, those three are the highest number of complaints in the office.
All right. What are you going to be focusing on in the year ahead, particularly when it comes to ensuring that firstly consumers understand the process itself and what their own rights are, and also ensuring that the industry understands its own role here as well? We're
going to be focusing on talking more to the consumers, encouraging the ombudsmen who work in my office to pick up the phone. We are moving into a more, we are recognizing the fourth industrial revolution has arrived. We are moving into a paperless environment and hoping that by speeding up our processes, we can provide a better service ultimately to consumers.
We'll leave it there.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for your time. Today, the Ombudsman for Short-term Insurance, Deanne Wood.